Hello and welcome to Theatre Reviews with Paul Seven. I'm here at Chichester Festival Theatre to see Natalie Dormer in Anna Karenina. For the second time in less than a week, I've sat through a play more than 3 hours long. Stereophonic, which I saw a few days ago, was, for me, too long. But Anna Karenina, epic though it was actually too short. It barely gave Tolstoy or Natalie Dormer the chance to show off their brilliance. Keep watching, and I'll tell you why I thought it was a good try, but fell short of doing justice to a great novel. But first, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Hello, I'm Paul Seven Lewis, and in these reviews I try to tell you what the show is about, describe the production, and report back on how the actors get on with it. At 3 hours, this stage adaptation of Anna Karenina by Phillip Breen can only hope to present a fraction of Tolstoy's novel, which runs to 38 hours on Audible. Now, Mr. Breen has chosen to try to tell the stories of all three of the main women, Anna, Dolly, and Kitty. As a result, none of them get a full swing at their characters in the time available. Nevertheless, the actors give impressive performances, not least Natalie Dormer as Anna, who, within the scope she's given, brings a tornado of emotion to the role, so much so that you find yourself longing for her next moment on stage. She's got a rich colorata voice that is like a full-bodied red wine. Her piercing eyes and curling mouth give passion to her words. Naomi Sheldon as Dolly is wonderfully over the top as she harangues her useless philandering husband and bemoans her ageing body and rails against everything with a tirade of very modern expletives. Incidentally, I thought the use of contemporary language, particularly sexual terms, while anachronistic, did work well as shorthand for the character's feelings. Kitty was the most one-dimensional of the main protagonists, but Shalisha James Davis made the most of what she was given, which was a woman constantly on the verge of a nervous breakdown as she assesses her obsessive suitor, then husband. The actors certainly convey the essence of their characters, but inevitably much colour is lost. A great deal of narrative is also lost to what much of the time becomes more like a plot summary. So what is the plot? Well, Anna's dissatisfied with ordinary family life and with her husband Karenin, a seemingly nice, tolerant chap and nicely played by Tomiwa Edun. She leaves him for a more passionate life with her lover Vronsky, whose firecracker character is well conveyed by Seamus Dillane. However, this being mid-19th century Russia, she finds herself ostracised from society and separated from her children. Worse still, she begins to doubt Vronsky's faithfulness. In fact, all the men seem to have a roving eye, whether they act upon it or not. Two other unhappy relationships are explored. Levin, played with passion by David Oates, loves Kitty, but she resists him. She thinks he'll be unfaithful because of his past record of bed-hopping. Eventually she's reassured and marries him, but her doubts continue right up to a traumatic childbirth. Dolly's already well into a marriage and has too many children. Her husband Steva gambles and womanizes in a splendidly spineless characterization by Jonnie Broadbent, and she constantly rails at him and at her own perceived lack of attractiveness. The problem with this filleting approach is that we lose much of the complexity of characters and their lives. Rather than the flesh, what we get are the bare bones of the plot. And when it comes down to it, plot is only the structure on which good novels and plays build their characters' development. Instead, this adaptation really reduces these three women to people who don't trust their partners, shout and cry a lot, and end more or less happier than they began. And Tolstoy's novel is a great deal more than that. The other challenge is how to design it. The open Chichester stage doesn't allow for solid scenery, except at the very back. So, how to present horses and trains, very important components of this story. Now, since the adapter, Phillip Breen, is also the director, we can assume he had a hand in the approach. Now, although Matt Jones' design is very busy with many chairs that are moved around, the most noticeable aspect is a nursery theme. Children's toys are scattered around the stage, dolls' houses, horses, a train set. It serves to emphasise, perhaps, that women in this period are still treated like children in terms of their rights. I'm pretty sure the dolls' houses were meant to remind us of Ibsen's play about another woman trapped in domesticity. A part which Natalie Dormer surely must play at some point. The train set reminds us that the world is changing. Modern inventions such as the railways and electricity have arrived. And while the former is central to the story, the latter is also given its moment in the spotlight, so to speak, in the form of tubes of light which descend and form, of course, a cage. The wooden horses come in handy as substitutes for the real thing, but frankly, the sight of a man shooting an injured rocking horse was comical. Shades of Monty Python and Spamalot. And when Les Dennis, in a delightful cameo as the world-weary servant Petka, drives a carriage drawn by a wooden horse, it's silly rather than amusing. I would rather have used my imagination more, something which we had to do when it came to the all-important train. I did like many of the effects, the trio of Japanese musicians who played Paddy Canine's edgy music, the way the large cast, and there are 19 named actors, sat in chairs at the back of the stage, especially at the moment when they scraped cutlery together during a dining scene. There are too many short scenes which become messy, but there are some scenes which really hit home, like Anna's secretive visit to see her son. A rare moment when you really understand profoundly what she's given up. This adaptation of Tolstoy's novel is a brave attempt, but like Scott's trek to the South Pole, it falls short of total success. I give Anna Karenina 3 stars. I hope you found this review useful, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, then you'll be the first to know about my future reviews. You can also read my reviews at Theatre.Reviews, where I also round up other critics' reviews. Oh, and you can follow me on the usual social media. Thank you for watching.